Yo, what's up guys? New balance patch. So we have the balance patch that is running right now in May. Let's see what we have. Of course, the things we wanted to see is Oliver Nerf, Nana Nerf, and a bunch of buffs of every unit you have and someone else probably doesn't have. That's mainly the case, right? So first of all, we have an Oliver Nerf where the S3 goes for a 5 turn towards a 6 turn. I think it hurts him pretty hard if he misses his skill of the increased cooltime, because if he misses the skill of the increased cooltime, he lacks a lot of turn cycling in the first place. And that is pretty much prolonged right now, which I think is fair for him. I think it would hurt him pretty hard to have this skill cooltime up, because you can do S3, S2, you have to load in both the S3 and the S2, and you have 1 turn in between, and then you have the S3 again, and then the S2 again. So you can't cycle S3, S2, S3, S2, and then if you land everything, you never have to S1. So I think that would make Oliver a lot weaker, but I think that will put him in a good spot, because he's still a 33 lead with very good damage, which is also slightly nerfed in this case, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, rather than he had like 20% up with a max of 100%, it's now 10% up with a max of 50. I think both changes are fair to him. Oliver will still be a very strong unit. Currently was like 52% win rate somewhat. I think it will drop down to around like 50.5% win rate that way. Then we have Nana, which revives rather than 40% with 25%, which is actually interesting because you revive a Leo and a Ragdoll in Torrent range, if I'm not mistaken. So that is actually somewhat of a buff and a nerf together, because you revive still a unit with 100% attack bar. So if you kill, you're not allowed to kill Ragdolls with a Nana because if they have their skill up and they get a turn soon. So with Ragdoll and Nana together, it's more of a buff than a nerf, more or less, I guess. Nah, not really, but it has some implications that were like, okay, that sounds dangerous. But overall, I would say it's a Nana nerf, but I feel like it's a kind of a lazy nerf. I would slightly adjust the passive, like I mentioned before on streams as well. Make the Nana the revive. It is not reviving multiple units, but it's determining how much HP that unit is revived with, and therefore you only revive one unit. So that means, for example, that one stack will be 30% revive, 2 stacks 60% revive, and 100 stacks is 100% revive. Of the like 100% HP revive, but then it can only revive one unit, and therefore afterwards you need like those stacks again. That's what I would say is more fair, but maybe there's 25% would like lower her win rate as well. Then we have the Fire Weapon Master. Well, as expected, all of the Weapon Masters are going to be addressed because all of them were pretty shit, except Maximilian, which of course is pretty good. So rather than just taking a turn when the enemy dies, you also take a turn and increase attack bar when your ally dies. There's a few niche teams that I can think of. I could even think of things like, for example, BGR5. If a teammate dies, then you start doing like more damage. That would be kind of interesting as well. But wait, he would take the attack bar, increase the attack bar of the dead ally. So the thing is, in BGR5, your allies that die mostly don't have that much attack, so it doesn't do too much rather than give you 100% attack bar. But I could see this being a little bit more used here and there. However, I still feel like it's kind of niche, because you might as well just kill that unit off first and then nothing happens, right? So I don't really would see this being used in RTA in any kind of way too much. Then we have Liam, and his skill stuns AoE right now if there's more than 4 or if there's 4 or more targets. And in the case of 1 target, it will do ignore defense upwards to 100% based on like low HP. So would that mean that at 0% HP you do 100% ignore defense, and at 100% HP you do 0% ignore defense? I guess it kind of looks like that. Does it make it somewhat more interesting? I would say so. Does it make him really good? I'm not too sure. I still would like to see that you can choose whether you want to use the S3 single target or S3 in multi or like AoE hit or something like that, because I'm still not really sold on like what his S1 and S2 do. And even if you improve the S3, it's just that. I feel like for this whole Weapon Master family, you would have to improve the weak S1s and weak S2s to make this family good. Sure, maybe some would be kind of overbuffed then, but I feel like S1 and S2 is the thing that you should have addressed rather than the S3s or passives. Then we have the wind one, Dominic Toretto. And that one is the difference that he does attack power. Dealing damage to attack, absorb the... Wait, what is the difference? Normally it took it from your HP, and if it receives HP, okay, that's still there. You also have absorb right now, absorb of A to B if you're above, and recover HP if you're below. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I don't really see this being all too good. A few people were like, okay, this is going to be your wind vampire unit, which is a possibility. But I don't really see it or feel it being that strong. I'm not 100% sure. Then we have the Onimusha, which are actually doing Karma, or they get a 100% attack bar after using Karma skill. Doesn't that make Gyu cycle a lot of turns? The issue is I'm not really sure what Gyu's S1 did anymore. Wait, let me actually check that up. Because if she has a proper S1, because she gets attack bar if things pro Karma, but she also gets attack bar if Karma is placed. So she's bound to get a lot of attack bar. And her S1 normally does... We have a strip and a defense break as one with a, what, 55% chance, more or less? I'm not sure if that would make her good. I still feel like Karma's really shit skill. It's a silence you can ignore. And if you can ignore it, you're okay with, like, sacrificing half of your HP. So, I'm not really sure. I feel like in the case of the fire unit, since it's buffed a little bit more, and in the case of the dark unit, then you would have a little bit more of implication of the unit being okay. In the sense of the wind one, I still feel like it's pretty bad. So for the fire one, we also have harmful effects applied to the selected target equal granted on all enemies. So is that if one unit has like 3 bombs of Sierra, you can apply all of those bombs to the whole team? Okay. That's interesting. The only thing that's I don't really get with this, it's set like as is and then to be. Would that also mean here that it increases like this thing is removed and then you only have this thing because it doesn't really set like a before and after? Or is it something that is just newly added on top of it? If it's newly added on top of it, I would say that she would be okay-ish to pretty decent, especially if you have like single target debuffs and you can spread that out to the whole team. That kind of sounds interesting in some way. Also having Karma with like the extra attack bar gain and that kind of stuff. Let's see what her S1 actually does. Her S1 is stunning with a 55% chance. So I would feel like the fire one might have some use with those 2 buffs. I don't want to say out loud that she's a good unit right away, but she also has the 24 lead, which is still a very strong factor to keep in mind. And for the people that are searching for some of these 24 leads, she is more and more becoming an option that does make sense. Then we have all things in nature, grant all beneficial effects to ally for 1 turn, grant all beneficial effects to all allies for 2 turns. So the debuffs are still going to be the same, but 2 turn of all buffs. So that makes it a 2 turn immunity buff, attack buff, defense buff, everything that was in the match before. I would say that's a pretty good improvement, because 1 turn immunity most of the time, let's say she uses it, then a unit moves soon after, your immunity is right away gone within like a half a turn or even less. Getting a 2 turn immunity has a lot more value than a 1 turn immunity. It's not the double, it's more like triple or quadruple D value, I would say. So I would say that's decent of a buff. I'm not too sure. I think she's still a good 5th pick. That's the main case, that you have like specific things you want to counter and she becomes a good 5th pick. And now even becomes a better 5th pick, I would say. Then we have the Beast Monks, and the simplest things they could do for Beast Monk, they still didn't do. Give these Beast Monks a leader skill in guild battle. No one's going to use them in RTA. No one's going to use them anywhere else. Just give them guild leader skills. Like, come on, man. But whatever. We have the Crushing Blow, then we have the Crushing Blow, and now we have the Crushing Blow. I'm not really sure why you cannot add that all together. Well, Awakened is different than normal, I guess, but I don't really see what's the difference between the Fire, Wind, Light, and Dark one. Is the strip a beneficial turn, and this one, the Fire one, strips all beneficial. Okay, I would say revenging and stripping all beneficials into a despair stun doesn't sound too bad, I guess. But would this really get some use? I'm not sure. It's still kind of too straightforward what they do. It is kind of funny, however, that the what is it? The fire one is doing a lot of stuff right now because it puts silence on the S3. It cleanses on the S3. It cleanses on the S2, if I'm not mistaken. And then it also strips on the first turn. So would this be a defense unit here and there in Siege? I'm not sure, but they are really hard trying for that one. Then we have the Fire Beast Rider, Marsha. Kind of strange that she got a buff. She's not really bad, but she's also not really used. And she gains immunity after she took a turn, which makes her more usable as a swift unit, I would say, mainly. If you have a swift Marsha that's very fast, it can just nearly nuke down one unit right off the get-go. And then she sits there with immunity like, yo, I'm chilling. I would say that this is actually a pretty decent buff, not gonna lie. I kind of like this buff. Yeah. Then we have the Water Demon. For somewhat reason, cannot glance anymore. Is it that great? Well, it's actually mostly used in PvE right now. Sometimes used in RTA and that kind of weird stuff, but now it doesn't glance. Well, I guess some people also in Siege offense have some weird team that make him sensible that way, but I'm not too sure. Then we have Zeratu, and Zeratu is going to do strips on S1, and that's going to be multiple strips. So he's going to strip 3 times. So he can strip a lot of debuffs, plus he can strip on low accuracy. Same as Fan Yang, he has good odds of landing armor break on the S1, even with low accuracy, because it's just a multi-hit. And I would say that is a fair thing for Zeratu. It makes him less of one-dimensional thing of just being like, oh, I'm bulky and I do damage. Now it also has some like implications of like, okay, can be set up for another unit that Zeratu strips and then he does something else. I feel like that's fair. I feel like it would become like a decent to a good unit that if you need something bruiser-ish in the last slot, and he still has to have like setups for other units that you can have Zeratu into like an armor break or something. I would say it's, yeah, not bad of a buff. Then we have the Fire Chimera, which is also known as Recon. Provokes all enemies for 1 turn, excluding the enemy target on your turn. But does it still mean that it's an added effect? So the enemy that you provoke or you do your skill 3 on still is provoked for 2 turns, if I'm not mistaken, and then all of the others are provoked for 1 turn. I would say that's pretty strong because provoke can lead into another collapse, and another collapse can lead into more AoE provokes. And therefore you can cycle AoE provokes if your enemy team is not having any sort of immunity. So I would actually say that's very strong. Because every time that one of the units hits you and you collapse based on that unit again, you will provoke everyone again, if I'm not mistaken. If it's like that, it sounds pretty OP even. Still needs like a specific setup of Rakan landing his skill first, of actually collapsing with the odds that he collapses with, the enemy not having immunity, not having cleanses, enough accuracy to land all of that crap. So there's a lot of ifs, but it sounds pretty strong on paper, not gonna lie. Then we have the Fire Desert Queen, also known as Sekhmet or Sukhmet. She has cooldown reduction of 1 turn on the S3. I feel like that would make her pretty good, like better than she already was, because she actually has a relatively low cooldown on that skill already, because every strip she does, or every buff she takes, she already reduces -1. So it's very good odds that you steal, like, let's say 2 buffs, and then you only need 1 turn in between of your S3, S2, and you can do S3 again, which I would say is pretty nice. Is it really what she needs? She needs consistency, at least landing the strip, and then it's just a 15% checker instead of a double 15% checker to first strip and then also go for the reset. So that's the bad part that makes Sekhmet real bad, the landing issue rather than the cooldown issue, because she gets no cooldown on it if she misses already. So I don't really see the point in this all too much, but it does make her better, I guess. Now, same thing for the Isis, Glaze of Oblivion. She just needs to land shit. I would say Isis needs to land at least or Oblivion or Silence, but it's never possible to miss both. Something like that. Just don't make it too consistent, but at least something like that, that one of the two always lands or something. I don't know. Then we have the Water Polo Queen, Alicia, and that has a 25% chance to freeze, which is actually a bit better because if she doesn't skill, she's reliant on her freeze to get another turn to then do her S2. So this gives her a better chance to go from S3 to S2, which I would say is a pretty decent buff. It doesn't make her too much more used or crazy or anything, but it is an improvement, I would say. Then we have the Phoenix. Wait, what was the name? Teshar. Teshar now stuns AoE. I think that's, yeah, stuns AoE, this passive. Okay, I guess. I don't really see it being used in RTA as well, because it's a squish fest. It's only for dungeons, so does it really matter to stunning your dungeons? I don't know. Maybe if you do the labyrinth like speedrun stage, that's the only thing I can think of, pretty much. The rest is all not that interesting because he's supposed to nuke everything. Who cares if it's stunned after a nuke? Nothing happens. Okay, then we have the Pungbeak. Cannot revive the enemy after it dies from the first attack. So that actually makes it a lot more usable to use this skill on, for example, Pisama in Arena Offense, because Pisama, of course, is one of the lower defense units. And therefore, Pisama also doesn't revive. So I actually like this addition quite some. I feel like Pungbeak, like, over time is getting better and better to the point that Pungbeak actually does make sense of also wasting like a Vanessa passive, also wasting like, okay, Triana passive you probably don't go through, but a Nana passive, something like that. I think Pungbeak is getting better and better like over time. It's not too bad. Then we have Chiwu, which is also not really used that much anymore. There's just too many other good strippers out there right now. But rather than decreasing the attack bar, it's going to absorb the attack bar. So it's very easy to go from an S3 into an S2. I use Chiwu a lot in Arena Offense. I feel like Chiwu is one of the better strippers in Arena Offense out there. Even with Tiana in there, it's just enabling like a bunch of other things that Tiana doesn't, like the speed lead, killing Hellfast. So getting that absorb, it's nice, it's niche, but I don't think it would make it into an RTA unit right away that way. But I can say like it's a step in a good direction. It would make Chiwu a little bit better. Then we have the Bay, and the Bay is one of those units for me. I don't know what it should be good at or doing, or I don't know. But the S3 is now a multi-hit. The damage is unchanged, but I think it has 2 applying Oblivions then. So the total damage is unchanged, but technically not really, because the third skill applies Oblivion, or not Oblivion, applies Branding, right? Wait, let me check, because that's the only unit in the game that, as far as I know, is an AoE Branding unit. Wait, where is that unit at the Bay? Your S3, and it brands them for 2 turns. So if you do a double hit, technically the damage is changed. Well, I think the multipliers are not changed, but the damage is changed. Because you do the second hit that is on Oblivion, so you do a little bit more damage on that, so that's nice. And reset the Deadly Wrath if an ally or enemy dies while the skill is on cooldown. So if anyone dies, even your ally or the enemy, you get Deadly Wrath again. Second part is, it sounds cool, but it doesn't really change us that much. Same for the next one, Manananan, Bananaman, Badadadadadam. He inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn. So if something stays at 1 HP and it doesn't really die because his stupid passive can't kill shit, it dies through a dot. It's so much halfway there that it's even more stupid than it was before. You just have to kill on your fucking passive. Like, come on. Why do you put a dot there? I don't know, man. Maybe with a lot of multi-hits you can start TOA harding everyone. I guess it becomes a very good TOA hard unit if you put it next to like Icarus and shit. What the hell is even this about, man? I don't get it. Either how, next one we have the PPK combo. And that becomes 1 to 3 hits. Wait, was it 1 to 3 hits before? Yeah, no, hits 1 to 3 for that. Okay. Decreases the attack bar by 30% and now becomes remove beneficial effects from the enemy target. So is that only the target? Because his third hit is AoE, right? Or is it like afterwards the third hit? Wait, let me check that one. Let me check that one. No, wait, he hits 6 times, and the first 3 they are normally a attack bar pushback. And then fourth up is like stuns, or the fourth one is a stun, and then 2 more are for the increasing harmful effects. So in this case, with the strip into a stun potential, it becomes very nice. Because if something has immunity, even if it has like 3 debuffs, you do your S3, you have the possibility of stripping all 3 debuffs, stun him, and then stun him for 2 more turns. So you go from 3 turns immunity to, or 3 turns immunity and 3 debuff or 3 buffs towards having a 3-turn stun. I like that. I'm not entirely sure if he becomes like a very good unit, but I would say as a bruiser unit on additional damage artifacts, like I'm not sure why no one really thought of like additional damage artifacts. His 6 skill literally does 9 hits. If I'm not mistaken, it does 5 hits on 1 target. No, wait, it does 4 hits on 1 target, and then 2 times AoE like on everyone, and his S2 is also 2 times AoE on everyone. That's a lot of stuff you can work with additional damage. Too bad his lead is not speed. If his lead would be speed, he would be very nice. But I feel like that's really a step in the right direction of giving this thing like a strip into stun, into multiple stuns. I feel like that's strong. Then we have Delphi and the other one I don't even know the name of, that Mind Shock grants Oblivion. And I think that's very good. So this is the skill that also resets. So it's a reset S2, but now it's a reset S2 and an Oblivion on the S2. With 100% guarantee of landing, but I think it's just 100% chance of activation rate. It's not 100% chance of landing, probably. There's still a resistance chance. So I would say it's nice. I would say it's very usable. And it makes them a lot better. The issue with Delphi is still her S3 healing is really shit, but I guess it's a something. Then we have the water and light one that have the, that's for the Sylphid, not the Undines, and they stun with the S2. I think that's also the skill that resets on them, right? Let me check. Sylphids, what the F do you even do? Because I never use you. That rhymes. Shilf, that's a Undine, and that's the Sylphid. The S2 on the light one, strongest. Yeah, skill on cool time. And now it also stuns. Yay! Okay, whatever. The fire one, more attack bar if she dies. Yay! Then we have healing breeze. Unconditional decrease the attack bar of the ally on a turn. Yay! I don't... More shields! Yay! This one, grants immunity to us. Yay! Wait, what even changed? Immunity to 1 turn, allies with full HP. After recovering instead of before recovering. Ah. I guess she's okay, like the Mihil is okay. She gets like a nice buff that way. Is that the Mihil? Yeah, that's the Mihil. I guess Mihil is taking the best from these buffs because all of the other units are still shit. Okay. Then we have the Blacksmith, which came together with the Weapon Ass Masters. Oh, Weapon Art Masters? What's the name? Just Weapon Masters. They're not art, they're not ass. Okay. That's just bad. So we have the Rune Blacksmiths. This one is going to increase more attack power, defense, attack speed, increasing effect by 35%. So your Lucian is going to do even more damage. I'm not really sure if that's the part that we needed, but I guess thank you for the improvement. The only shitty part about this is that the animation, like if you want to use this in arena offense or siege offense or anything like that, well, mainly arena offense, the animation is so godforsaken slow. And therefore it kind of sucks to use those units in something that you want to do like quick hits and that kind of stuff. The water one, more chance of accuracy. And then you're at 15% resistance check. You still miss. And that's very useless. Okay. Next one. Then we have the harmful hammering hairy shit. So that is your, I think that's your armor break on the S2. And so you get a chance of a 3-turn armor. Is that the armor break? 3 turns armor break on that, really? Was that already a thing? Okay. That is, I guess, interesting. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm also not sure what the odds is of getting great on that. Isn't that just like 30%? Yeah, it's 30%. So, okay, I guess. And then we have the light one, which was very shit before and is probably still very shit right now. Oh, we have the beneficial hammering as well that goes for a 2-turn to a 3-turn. Yay. Yay, whatever. Now we have the overhaul skill, which is reducing the cooltime things. Reduces the cooltime of all allies by 1 turn. But wait, wasn't that supposed to be the case already? Oh no, wait, she was increasing the duration of beneficial effects. So now she can do 2 turns cooldown increase. So she's like a math. And then she's still like a math, but worse. Yay! No. Okay, next, whatever. We have the fire dragon attack. Stuns for 1 turn. Okay. Decreases defense. Too bad that bosses are not always alone, because this would be pretty nice for a boss unit, I guess. Remove beneficial targets. Okay, we have also for the S2 you have more chance to do the S1, I guess, afterwards. Wait, is it though? No, wait, that's attack. Wait, is that the 3rd skill or the 1st skill? It should be the 1st skill then, right? Because that doesn't make any sense to be the 3rd skill. Wait, where are these units at? Kung Fu Pandas. Wait, you have a 20% chance to do your S3 after an S2? So you literally have chance to do S1, S2, and S2 porks S3? Are you kidding me? What kind of RNGBS game are you playing? Wait, so you literally have chance that if you do with Faye, you do your Faye S1, you proc Shadow Kick, you have a 20% chance to do your AoE ignore defense? That is RNG as shit? Yo, man, someone calculate odds, please. I want to have the odds of a Faye doing S1, proccing into S2, and then the S2 hitting each individual unit once with an ignore defense. So we got a 30% checker on top of 25% checker on top of a quadruple 25% checker on top of a quadruple 25% checker as well. Someone do the odds. Like, holy crap, what kind of RNG bullshit are you feeding me, man? If you land all of that, first thing you do, you close down the game, you run to the store, you buy lottery tickets. I'm against gambling, but at that point you buy lottery tickets because you won one already. Like, holy shit. Okay, next up, we have the Phoenix, water and wind. If that's actually how it works, I could be completely wrong, but like, whatever, it sounds weird. Phoenix, water and wind, change stats. Adjust to buff. Yeah. Okay. Okay, change the stat. Okay. Wait, the Wind Pioneer is getting more attack. He can really use it. I feel like the Wind Pioneer is getting some Gucci buffs. Not sure how much this is going to be, but that's very nice. We have Oberon getting a increased crit rate. Oh man, can you just do that for all units that have some awakening that completely doesn't make any sense? Like Seimei awakening, freaking everything that awakens into resistance that doesn't need it. Except for Savannah, because she would become too OP if you actually put accuracy and crit rate awakening into it. But like 9 out of 10 units that have like a misplaced awakening, they're just bad. Like, just give them a proper awakening, man. If it's damage dealer, it's just crit. Easy. It's just crit. You're not gonna do like accuracy on this for what? Glancing as one. What kind of did you have like in your thoughts when you were like, yeah, we have to give something to the other ones. Like, we already filled the others. Like, just do something, man. Accuracy? I as well accuracy check, right? Yeah, okay. Just do it. Just do it. Like, what the hell is even that, man? Okay, and then we have some errors fixed of shit being buggy. Great. So overall, Palin's patch, what do I think about it? I wouldn't say it's too bad. I would say the Oliver Nerf and the Nana Nerf are quite decent. Do I really expect to see other units being used in RTA more or less? Weapon Masters, not really. Fire on the Urge, maybe. Beast Monks, not really. Marsha, maybe. Zeratu, Rakan, I think so. Sekhmet doesn't really change too much. The others, not really. But for Siege, there are some more options here and there as well. Arena offense, there's a bunch more options, mainly like the Pioneers getting better. So yeah, I would say overall not too bad of a balance batch. And that is my review of the balance batch. So guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and see you on the next one.